The most secretive American and North Korean spy masters behind the scenes now playing crucial roles, bringing Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un to the negotiating table. Kim Jong-chol, North Korea's former spy chief, on his way to New York to meet Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, the former CIA director, for summit preparation.
He wears many hats, including as spy chief, including as security chief, and also all things military and security advisor to Kim Jong-un.
And the silver-haired man at the table in Pyongyang is Andrew Kim, the CIA's North Korea spy master. Both men have part of the effort to get the summit on track.
Even if we set up a clock, a timetable, an agenda, an arc that moves us forward towards a more stable peninsula, this will have been good news.
Andrew Kim is said to be part of the back-channel secret communications the U.S. had with North Korea for months. People who know him won't talk about Andrew Kim. It's not even his real name, a U.S. official says. He is described as still Pompeo's right-hand man, the only known recent images released as he sat next to Pompeo in Kim Jong-un's presence. The CIA will not disclose details about him, but he currently heads the CIA's Korea Mission Center, coming out of retirement after serving in covert assignments for decades. On the North Korean side, Kim Jong-chol, spy chief and trusted agent, and constantly present next to Kim Jong-un, deeply trusted to carry messages to the Trump administration, but also reportedly has a nefarious past, accused by South Korea of sinking its ship in 2010, killing 46, and allegedly behind the 2014 hack on Sony. Former CIA Director Michael Hayden says, put all of that aside.
He comes here with the writ of the president of North Korea. And so this is the person, the individual that is worth talking to try to hammer out some common ground if it exists.
So lots of meetings, lots of officials on both sides involved in all of this. On the U.S. side, it certainly does appear Secretary of State Mike Pompeo still very much taking a leading role. And remember, Pompeo, the former CIA director, this may be turning into the summit of the spies. Jake?
And Barbara, just curiosity, Kim Jong-chol, he's been sanctioned by the United States. How is he allowed to travel into New York?
That's right. He is a sanctioned North Korean. The State Department would need to give him a waiver to travel. Today, they indicated they are trying to get all the paperwork in order.
Joining me now to talk about it is Gordon Chang. He's author of Nuclear Showdown, North Korea Takes on the World. Gordon, thanks for joining me as always. If you were a betting man, do you think the summit's going to happen in 2 weeks?
I think so, Jake, but if it doesn't, it will take place sometime during the summer because the North Koreans desperately need this summit. They need sanctions relief. They need the U.S. not to strike their missile and their nuke facilities. Kim Jong-un wants a legitimization of a meeting with President Trump, and they want a counterweight to China, and the United States provides that. So the North Koreans really want this to occur. And as Jeff Zeleny said, when you have Kim Jong-chol going to New York, that's a sure indication that this will occur.
So you don't agree with those who say that President Trump wants or needs the summit more than Kim Jong-un?
No, I think President Trump really wants the summit. That's clear from all that we can see. But nonetheless, he is willing to walk away from it. He did that on Thursday morning, and he showed just how much the North Koreans want it, because prior to that, the North Koreans were engaging in pretty belligerent talk. After that, they were extremely conciliatory, even saying that they were willing to agree to the Trump formula, quote unquote. That's a real indication that they thought they had overplayed their hands. So I think that, yes, they both want it, but the North Koreans need it much more.
What is Kim Jong-chol hoping to get out of his meeting with Secretary of State Pompeo and anyone else he might meet with in New York?
Well, I'm guessing that really what they're trying to do is to hammer out some sort of vague framework that President Trump and Kim Jong-un can agree to in Singapore on the 12th or whenever they meet. And there's a lot of contentious issues, especially about how fast North Korea gives up its weapons. Or I'm sure Kim Jong-chol is saying, look, the U.S. should give up its nuclear weapons as well. There's a lot there to talk about. And so, sending such a high emissary really is an indication that they want to get these details out of the way before the two leaders meet in Singapore.
Do you think it would be better to have the summit and not have it result in a permanent deal for denuclearization versus not having the summit at all?
You know, I think that we could wait, and that might not be a bad thing, because it would show the North Koreans that we are not needy, which I don't think that we are. But nonetheless, there's a lot of momentum right now that is going to swamp Kim Jong-un. And to their credit, the U.S. has been able to engineer that. Also, we want to have this summit before the Chinese can get themselves organized. They've been a malign influence in the last 3 months or so. The Japanese just caught them in a ship-to-ship transfer on the high seas, which is a violation of UN sanctions. We learned that just about 9 hours ago. So there's a lot going on there, and we want to keep the Chinese off to the side so that we can deal with the North Koreans one-on-one, where we would have the advantage.
That's right, President Trump talking about President Xi being a great poker player. Gordon Chang, thank you so much. Appreciate your wisdom. Coming up, a summit of spies. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo preparing to meet with one of North Korea's former top spies right here in the United States. Is it even a good idea to let this man into the country? Stay with us.
Bear presents Ordinary versus Overachiever.